Hi everyone, my name is Christy and welcome to my Trying a New Makeup Product Everyday series. Today I'm going to be trying out this Revlon ColorStay Day to Night Eyeshadow Quad, and this is a new and improved formula palette version, I guess. And I picked this up from Walmart and it cost about $6, and it comes in a bunch of other colorways. This one though is definitely my comfort zone, the types of shades that I'm reaching for most often. So I was really excited about the colors that come in this. It looks really beautiful to me. They look like all kind of metallic, shimmery shades, which I do love a shimmery eyeshadow. Usually I would want to see maybe a matte thrown in here as well, but I can definitely do a full shimmer look. I love how on the back it has these little pictures showing how you can do a day look and a night look. And I just love when the drugstore products make it more accessible, more understandable, because it can be so complicated when it comes to creating eyeshadow looks, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, I'm probably not even going to follow either of these. I just want to create a look that I feel like is flattering to my eye shape. And I do like that it comes with this applicator. And this is a little different than the little applicators that I'm used to, because it's that kind of classic arrowhead shape on one end and then more of a pointy pencil tip kind of shape on the other end. And although I like to use brushes more than these little foamy things, I actually really do like these for lining the eye, smoking out the lower lash line, so this will come in handy. But so before I start applying it to my eye, I definitely want to do some swatches, see how the texture is. Ooh, it actually has a nice buttery texture, and they're looking pretty pigmented. Interesting. So the darkest shade is definitely a little bit more chalky and dry, and it also seems more matte with sparkle, whereas the other three seem just like metallics. Ooh, like for a white, that's pretty vibrant, and it's like a metallic finish. Same with this more champagne gold, very pretty. Yeah, but then this black one is a surprisingly different texture. I feel like chalky is a perfect way to describe that. And then the brown, a nice metallic. So here are what those swatches look like. They're decent. I'm not blown away by how these swatched, but I think they are definitely usable. I feel like they're not the most pigmented, smooth, opaque swatches that I've ever seen, but swatches do not mean everything. And so I am going to test these out with and without an eyeshadow primer. The eyeshadow primer I'm almost always using is this Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. And so I'm just going to blend this all over one of my eyes. And so I like to start with my highlight shade first, and I'm going to go in just with my finger using the white shade to highlight the brow in the inner corner, because I love a light shimmering or reflective type of shade for this purpose. And I don't need it to be too intensely stark white. I'm just kind of blending and diffusing the color. But you can see right away it actually does a great job of highlighting the brow. And then I put some on the inner corner as well to brighten the eye. And this does a really nice job of brightening. So a perfectly fine, perfectly nice, enhancing highlight shade, which is super easy to apply. It's pigmented enough for this purpose. It even might be a little too pigmented for this purpose that I'm actually just kind of blending and diffusing it. So I am happy with the white shade, and definitely swatched very bright as well. And there's definitely other places you could put this white. You could put on the lid, but I like to try and use as many shades in the palette as possible when I create an eyeshadow look trying them out for the first time. So next up, I'm going to reach for, it's helpful when I have them all swatched to figure out what I want. I'm going to go for the medium brown, and I am going to use a brush so that I can blend it out in the crease. Wow, there is no kickback. So I'm going to focus this right here in the crease, blend it up a little bit onto the brow bone as well to shape out that highlight that I already applied. Okay, yes, this shade is looking so good. It's doing exactly what I wanted it to do, which is to create contour and dimension for my eye shape. And this is a nice cool tone brown that truly is creating that shadow effect. Ooh, I really like that. Off to such a great start with these two colors, because this here is just my staple kind of template, the base to any eyeshadow look pretty much that I like to do, because I love to highlight the brow and inner corner and then create dimension in the crease transition area. And then when you go onto the lid, it could take any sort of form, but this is such a great base. And I love how this is applying, how it's blending out. Once again, for this area, I don't need it to be super intensely pigmented. And this actually could be a day to night transitional look, because I could stop right here as my daytime look. Maybe I would also be tempted to blend the shade along my lower lash line, but it enhances the eye, just gives a little bit more interest, a little bit more completed look. I love a quick crease shade as just the only eye makeup. Also the highlight, of course. Like these two alone is all you really need. Yeah, but I'm not stopping there. Next, I'm going to pick up the darkest shade, and I'm going to try and go in with a light hand. Just pick up a little bit, and I'm going to continue to enhance the eye shape by focusing this darkest shade just in the outer V here. And this one is showing up pretty dark and pigmented, although not super opaque. But I am going to try and just diffuse and blend this color out to lift the eye and just continue on creating contour, dimension. And then this is pretty dark. Like you really only need a little bit, but clean up the under eye a little bit. Wow. Yeah, that goes for a glam smoky eye effect. How different it looks with it versus without it, but it is super pretty. I think if I was continuing on with a daytime look, I would skip this and just put the more champagne gold shade all over the lid. But like I said, I'm using all of the shades from this palette in the look here. Oh, interesting. So this is the eye with the primer. I'm going in on the eye without the primer, and look at how much lighter that is. That is not having the same amount of pigment as the side with the primer. I just picked up some more to try and build it up to look as dark as this side. And it is buildable. I almost prefer the more toned down look, since this is so kind of dramatic and glam. But usually I would want my eyeshadows to show up as pigmented as possible. Trying to build it up. I think that's closer. Now that's pretty even. And now to finish off the eyelid, I'm picking up the golden champagne shade just with my finger. This one has such a nice soft texture, and I'm just applying this to the rest of the eyelid. And the shades all look very nice together, complement each other. I will say, like, the metallic finish is not very bright. They're not matte, but they almost look matte because they're not super bright, shiny, shimmery. And I do prefer my metallics to have more shine or shimmer or something. Like, these definitely seem kind of dull. That's so pretty. I love this type of eyeshadow look. This is seriously the exact type of eyeshadow look that I create most often. And you can just blend it all together. But I really like this type of eyeshadow look because I feel like it's enhancing to the eye, keeping it brighter towards the center, but then darker towards the outer corner is what I have found to be my favorite way to do my eyeshadow. But then can't forget about the lower lash line because that can make a big difference. And I love to use a shimmery brown. I think I'm going to pick up, just with the little applicator that came in this, going in with the pointy side, I'm going to pick up the medium brown. I wish this had a mirror. That's what this is missing. But so now I'm just going to blend this along the lower lash line. And you can see the difference when you add a little color to the lower lash line versus without it. I feel like it really finishes the whole eye look. Definitely makes it look even more glam. Okay, so here is the finished eyeshadow look, which throughout this process, I really do feel like it transitioned day to night, just like this palette claims. And for just these 4 basic shades, I do feel like there's a lot of different looks that you can create, and very quickly and easily. So overall, I'm really happy with this. I don't think these are the most amazing eyeshadow formulas ever, but they blend it out perfectly fine. I definitely feel like there is a difference with the primer versus without it. Even just this looks smoother, less like there's creasing, just a little bit more vibrant, versus this one here. I feel like you can see so many lines in my eyelid, and it just looks like it's more muted, more like worn away. This looks like eyeshadow that I've been wearing for 10 hours. This looks freshly applied. So I definitely would say use an eyeshadow primer with this. I say use an eyeshadow primer all the time that you wear eyeshadow because it just helps. It helps prevent creasing. I have so many lines in my eyelid that I feel like I always need an eyeshadow primer if I'm going to be wearing eyeshadow for longer than a few minutes. But I definitely see myself reaching for this again. So quick, easy, and I love that type of product. So if you've tried this out, let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on it. I'd also be very interested to hear if you've tried this in any other colors and how those are. But thank you so much for watching my video today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you can see the makeup that I try every day. And I will see you tomorrow in my next video.